Hey, Spokestorm and Demon's Alliance, it's me, Spencer. Come to a video. In this video, I am turning using some cryptids. Cryptids are creatures, for the record, that are shrouded in mystery, and they are either mythological creatures or animals that have been reported in modern day. I combine them with the Techawyrm parasite I made. Well, let's get into the video. Let's go. The overseer Tetka, after inventing a new brand of virus, decided that he would experiment with it. He decided to take 4 cryptids, very weird ones, and take them to a pocket dimension where he had made a big earth to let them roam. First one he took was a Wendigo. When he threw onto it, the Techawyrm, being a half type, took over the upper half of the creature's body, enhancing its strength, sense of smell, and it took over everything else besides the antlers. The claws grew extremely sharp, able to slice through trees very easily. And then it grew 5 days later, after encountering a Chupacabra Techawyrm. It earned 2 elbow spikes protruding from its elbows. Now it's after reproducing and the Techawyrm parasite spreading itself, there's now over 1,000 of these creatures out in the wild of America. It is said that if you encounter a regular one of these Techawyrms, and it fuses to you, you are going to be a very, very powerful fighter. So be careful around the Techawyrm Wendigo. Okay, so for the first one I was going over, decided to use a Wendigo for the first one. It doesn't look as good. These are just experimental designs. I like cryptids quite a bit, so I went for Wendigo, a creature that was said in mythology to have was once a human that resorted to cannibalism, and I just used a random picture I found for the reference. The type of Techawyrm I gave this one was a half Techawyrm. Half Techawyrms have the ability to take over the top half, the right half, the left half, the bottom half, or whatever half of the person. These, the reason why these only have enhanced claws and stuff like that is because of the fact that Techawyrms are parasites that upgrade the already physical properties of the creatures they possess. But they infect humans differently. They give people advanced weaponry. I am planning on making a video over these. Still need to think of the name and write down the script and all that. Color scheme wise, I did my best. It was a simple gray, black gray, light gray, red lighting on the enhanced claws, and all that gray was on the body. Well, now let's get going to the next one. the overseer Tekka, after inventing a new brand of virus, decided that he would experiment with it. He decided to take 4 cryptids, very weird ones, and take them to a pocket dimension where he had made a big earth to let them roam. First one he took was a Wendigo. When he threw onto it, the Techawyrm, being a half-type, took over the upper half of the creature's body, enhancing its strength, sense of smell, and it took over everything else besides the antlers. The claws grew extremely sharp, able to slice through trees with very easily. And then it grew 5 days later, after encountering a Chupacabra Techawyrm. It earned 2 elbow spikes protruding from its elbows. Now it's one of the after reproducing and the Techawyrm parasite spreading itself, there is now over 1,000 of these creatures out in the wild of America. It is said that if you encounter a regular one of these Techawyrms, and it fuses to you, you are going to be a very, very powerful fighter. So be careful around the Techawyrm Wendigo. Yes, I personally said they are found in Texas, because Texas is a state where I live that has just basically open country quite a bit. I've seen quite a few goats. I decided to go for the Chupacabra on the account that it's one of the more famous cryptids out there. And for the color design, I used the Assassin Cabra, but I more or less toned it down quite a bit to where it's just a dark gray color. It still can be worked on. I'm also planning on having a big cityscape around, making cityscape behind the character in the video. But, the design over it is a simple one. It's quite small, but let's get to the next one. Sorry about this mid-video interruption. I just want to say, I hope y'all are enjoying this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And please do that. Well, now let's get back into this video. Let's go. The next cryptid that Tekka took was a creature known as the Rake. This creature was, if you combined it with a Techawyrm known as a Techawyrm species known simply as a sharpening Techawyrm, it made sense on the count that this creature has 3 sharp claws on its hands, but it also sprouts 2 very sharp elbow spikes, and it is found to be wandering the mountains and area around all over the United States. There's only a few hundred, but they're incredibly dangerous and fast. It is said, try hiding from these creatures. You need to find a way to get away from them. Now, the Rake was a very simple one. It's actually one of the most well-known cryptids of all time. But it's also an incredibly fast creature, so and the regular color is the same, just no eyes. I plan on fixing that later on. I will be drawing the full actual designs of the Techawyrm parasites. And also there's a going to be called. There's also going to be a virus called the Techawyrm. I still have to think of the side effects of that one. Tech things. But I might be doing that just so I can expand this multiverse before moving on to another multiverse. Well, that's all I got for this one. Let's get to the next one. The next cryptid that Tekka took and combined with a Techawyrm was a cryptid known as a werewolf. Now, I know werewolves aren't really cryptids, but they have been reported so much in different worlds. They are technically classified as a cryptid under mine. So, yeah. He thought he might as well take a human, but turns out it was a werewolf. Because he learned that from studying them. Now, werewolves, unlike zombies can't really transmit it, they can only be cursed. They spread their lycanthropy either from two things: genetics or from scratches or bites. Bites and scratches are more common because those result in half werewolves. But the ones he combined the werewolves with were known as limb enhancers. These caused the limbs, the upper torso, and the upper legs and the upper arms of the werewolf to stay the same, but the rest of the body, meaning the lower arms and lower legs, became pretty much the Techawyrm's pretty much power weaponry. The claws enhanced beyond to be very sharp enough to pretty much slice through solid stone. And the legs were able to pretty much extend and make the werewolf jump over about half a mile. And they do have some cannons on them because they are a part human. It is said to make sure and if you have to kill one of these things, EMP them. Just do not get cut. Well, that's all of them. That's all for the werewolf. Now, for the werewolf, it was a very simple design, but I'm thinking about redoing these designs later. These are just little fun cryptid ideas. I might do more of this. Tekka is going to be the name of the overseer and the main antagonist for this coming story. Still need a name for it. But just the overall design, I was looking at one of my old pieces. The werewolf vampire one. That was a fun one. It was quite fun to make. But then I decided to come up with a few more. Well, I didn't really come up with a few more. I came up with that, and I was like, I don't have any more ideas for cryptids. Well, that's all I got for today. Okay, the designs of the Techawyrms, I'm going to be changing up a little and changing the properties and just scrapping down to the bare bone and just mostly looking at the designs and origin of the Techawyrms today. So, there's that. Until next time, subscribe today, join us Stormy or DMoss Alliance. Goodbye and peace out.